Hi, and welcome to another Mansfield Today. I hope you guys had a great Valentine's week. I came in studio with some computer stuff and Jeremy ran away. So I'm going to try and get him into studio next week by bringing in a rugby game. I'm playing Rugby 22, busy testing that on the new Xbox Series X. So I know rugby is something that Jeremy likes, so hopefully we'll see him next week. In the meantime, let's talk about what we have on the desk today. I literally just collected it this morning, so it's hot off the press, so to speak. Intel have launched their 12th generation processor. So generally when you go into a store and you buy a processor, it comes in a nice little box like such, a retail box. This is my previous processor, by the way, the 11th generation. This one I just collected, so it just cleared customs. It's in a nice little box. Let me show you what the brain of your computer looks like. So this, hopefully I don't drop this, is the 12th generation Intel 12th generation processor. You'll notice straight off the bat that it's a bit more rectangle shape. It is slightly bigger. It feels a little heavier than the 11th gen. It's difficult not having the 11th gen in my hands right now. So that's the actual physical chip. And now, because I literally just collected it just before arriving in studio, I haven't benchmarked it. So I'm not going to talk about those specifics in terms of benchmarks. In 2 weeks from now, I would have concluded, well, the editor of our magazine would have completed that test, and we'll show you some of the interesting tidbits. Where does the processor slot into? Well, two types of motherboards that I brought in, both from MSI. We'll open them now for you guys. So the motherboard, everything plugs into, as you know. What is interesting is that upgrading a PC generally means new memory, new graphics, new everything. So MSI have brought out a 12th generation supporting motherboard, but you don't have to upgrade your memory. You can still run DDR4 memory with this board, which means the only thing that you're upgrading is your board and your processor, and save you a bit of money, I guess, while still getting the use of or benefit of a 12th generation processor. I'm just going to pop this on the floor here. Okay, so this is the big boy, the 12th generation board that supports the new memory DDR5. Big bangs. I think I need a lower desk next to this desk. So here we have it, the DDR5 enabled motherboard, and your processor will slot over here. Beautiful board, I must say. Very gamey. All right, so these two motherboards, the big boy, the one I certainly want in my machine, is the Z690 Carbon. Now this Z690 Carbon supports 3 M.2 modules for your storage and 4 memory DDR5 slots, and yeah, so we'll be giving this a very nice run through. And then the second board is the MAG B660M mortar. So that board is a DDR4 supporting board, so like I said to you, at least you don't have to go and spend the money on upgrading your memory, which can be costly. Talking about memory, so these two motherboards, the DDR4 and DDR5 boards, personal opinion, the DDR5 cost versus performance is not quite there. So in other words, general users, whether you're using it for game or hard work, Photoshop rendering kind of stuff, you're not going to feel the difference, in my opinion, right now. Software might optimize in a couple of months from now, but yeah, as I said, so I would not upgrade to DDR5. It's just too expensive. Is it nice to say that you got a DDR5 system? Yeah, absolutely. Upgrading CPU though, that's another matter altogether. So while some people may not feel the need to upgrade from DDR4 to DDR5, upgrading from especially a 10th generation CPU up to the 12th generation, for me that's an absolute no-brainer. There's so many differences between the previous generations and this. I'm not going to run into all of them right now. So as I said, we are going to do a bit of a shakedown in the next 2 weeks and then bring you our findings. However, for me, the interesting bit is the AI, the deep learning built into the 12th generation CPU. So as an easy way to explain why this excites me, so let's say you're playing a game or you're doing some Photoshop work, some hardcore stuff. So now the brain of your computer is being taxed. In the meantime, you've got something running in the background, whether that's playing music or something trivial, and let's multiply that when you do a bunch of other stuff. Previous generation CPUs will try and multitask. Now, I look at a PC as a general male thing, and we're not good at multitasking, so think of it in that way. Whereas the new processors will prioritize its brain to those tasks that you want not lag in any shape or form. So you don't want to have any issues when Photoshop rendering or playing a game, and have that little stutter. We've all had periods when you're busy with something and your PC is just stuttering. I'm not talking about internet stuff stuttering, the buffering. That's a different story altogether. I'm talking about your brain not being able to cope with what you're throwing at it. Make sense? So that is for me a very important thing. I want to enjoy my experience with the PC. You don't want to have something that struggles. So like I said, we'll do a proper shakedown for you and give you more in-depth information. The other little standout thing for me on the new processors is that it supports Wi-Fi 6E. So it basically means that if you're connecting via Wi-Fi versus a physical cable, you'll have a better internet experience. And the buffering, the mother buffering, as some company advertised a while ago. Yeah, we don't want that. So yeah, there are other enhancements in terms of the supported hardware, but like I said, we'll go through that during the shakedown. Yeah, and then yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I've got to say to you for now. In the meantime, we look forward to seeing Jeremy back in studio next week for a bit of rugby. And I think I might just bring my Xbox into studio and maybe the two of us have a game and give him Dan Wigger to play with. Apparently he likes Dan a lot. So we'll see. Anyway, more on that later. Have a good one. All the best for the week. Hope you guys supported your better halves during Valentine's. All the best. Cheers.